how much stress, confusion are there in the children's mind whenever they are learning the identities, the formulas of calculus. So we are going to start with a very basic. In the first slide, I'm going to tell you the simple thing, that is, whenever we are going to start differentiation or derivative, we should more focus on basic meaning, definition, and the first principle method, which we know that it is in the syllabus of class 11. Then we should go for a average means basic formulas. And after that, the last topic, which is in the class of 11, function of the function, derivative of function of the function, or simply we call as chain rule. So when we talk about the basic, we should define the derivative in a very simple manner, in a very concise content. The derivative means rate of change of one quantity. Normally we call or represent by the letter y, and we call it dependent variable with respect to independent variable, that is denoted by x. So we have to tell to the children that dy by dx is a symbol which represents the. So the first point that we have to explain that what is the meaning of dy by dx. I request to the persons, the teachers, please mute your speaker. So teachers, we have to explain what is the meaning of the symbol of dy by dx. It is a fractional number. Please tell to the children it is not a fractional number. It is a symbol which is representing the rate of change of one quantity y with respect to another quantity x. Now, same concept, differentiation or derivative in case of function. So the second point is, if fx is a function, then the rate of change of value of the function fx with respect to the change in x, that is called derivative or differentiation of fx. And we normally denoted by f dash x. And it's the formula. This is the formula, f dash x is limit x tends to 0, fx plus h fx upon h, which we normally say the formula of first principle method. So the method to find derivative is called first principle method or ab initio method or definition method. These are the another name of this method, but mainly we call it as first principle method. So I request to everyone, please make this concept very clear. What is derivative means, what is differentiation means in case of quantities like first point, or in case of function like point number 2. Now we should go ahead for the next slide, that is the formula which will be used to find the derivative is first principle method is this. And now how you are proceeding, the examples before them, how you are explaining. So this example, a very simple example has been given over here, that fx equal to 3x. Then by the formula, we are finding its derivative is 3. You can see everybody is knowing very well how we are getting it. I'm not going to explain. Simply we have substituted the value. In place of x, we are substituting x plus h. And then we are getting at last, the answer is 3. Why I have selected this example as a first example? Because this is the function whose derivative is coming constant, which is not depending on x. So we have to explain that sometimes some functions are like this, that their rate of change of value or their derivative is not depending on its independent variable, that is x. While another example, if you see this example number 2, you can see this one, that is 3x square is being given and its derivative is coming 6x. So here the derivative is depending on x, while in example number 1, derivative is independent of x. So these are the certain basic examples by which you can convey that very important point, that derivative of one variable with respect to another variable, sometimes depends on independent variable, sometimes it is a constant. Similarly, if you see the example number 3, the parameter, when we talk about its derivative with respect to r, it comes to pi. That is also in class 12, application of derivative, first topic, rate of change of quantity. If you see, the similar questions are there. While when we take about the area or the rate of change of area or derivative of area with respect to radius, it comes 2 pi r. So this is another set of examples where derivative is depending on r or sometimes constant not depending on r. Please explain this concept very clearly in the beginning so that they will realize that what is derivative and how it is related to the change of independent variable. Then comes trigonometric functions, sin x, derivative is cos x. So then after these basic example, we should go for the basic trigonometric functions, derivative and all. Now next is geometrical meaning of derivative. We know that derivative is also known as slope of tangent. And this is a very common content which is given in book to explain what is the geometrical interpretation of derivative. Here what we say, we simply take 2 points on a curve of any function. Let x equal to c as a point where we are trying to get the slope of tangent. Firstly, we take it as a chord. So P and Q are P and R. We are considering here P and R firstly. So P and R are 2 points. Their coordinate has been mentioned. C, F, C and C plus H. In case of R, that will be C plus H and FC plus H. So if you see P and R, this is a chord. And the slope of this chord is y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So it comes fc plus h minus fc upon c plus h minus h, which comes as simple h in the denominator. Please explain this is a slope of chord, not a slope of tangent. So firstly, we take a chord and later on, when we consider r moves towards p, then h tends to 0. Then this chord PR becomes a tangent at P. And this moving of R towards P, we denote as limit h tends to 0. So when we put the limit before this fc plus h minus fc upon h, it becomes slope of tangent. So by this small explanation, we can teach to the children that why derivative is called slope of the tangent and why this formula of limit h tends to 0 and all is considering as a slope of the tangent. Why not only fc plus h minus fc upon h? Sometimes children are having confusion why we are putting limit over here, why simply y2 minus y1 is not considerable. So this is the answer. This by this diagram we can easily explain them what is the meaning of derivative. Then for next, these are the certain basic formula that we normally teach to the children. Differentiation of sin x is cos x and all by first principle method. But I request you to please teach them in a pair wise. Like sin and cos are internally connected. Sin differentiation is cos, cos is minus sin. Similarly, tan and cot, they are having their differentiation in the form of square. Sec and cosec in the form of product of two functions. So these common property to be explained to the children, then only they can remember the formula easily. Another point which we have to explain over here, that all the function which is starting from C, like cos, cot x or cosec x, their differentiation are negative. Why they are negative? That can be explained by the method of first principle formula and all. But here you have to tell there are 2-3 common observations that will help the children to remember the formula. Now see the next slide, the similar formula I'm going to explain in another manner so that this will help to them to understand the coming topics. Like see this slide, all similar formula like sin x differentiation is cos x, but now cos x differentiation is not written here minus sin x. It is d upon dy of cos y is minus sin y. Why it is like this? Because children are sometimes or most of the times they are learning the formula in terms of x only. Whenever the variable is changing in the questions, they feel uncomfortable or they commit the mistake. So you must tell that it is not only the x, the independent variable may be represented by any other letter, like here cos y, next theta, here t. So these are the new way to explain the formula by different variables so that whenever they are doing application of derivative in class 12, new variables are coming like radius, like time. With respect to time, sometimes derivation is going on. So dy by dt is there. So they must be comfortable that the variable can be any other letter other than x. Similarly, in point number 5, formula number 5, I have written sec 2x. It says again dy by dx is replaced by dy by d2x. Means here the variable is 2x. Now we are trying to find out the differentiation with respect to 2x. So sec x normal formula is sec x 10x, but when you are finding its derivative with respect to 2x, it will become sec 2x into 10. In the same way, dy by d sin x of cosec sin x. This is function of the function concept. Still in the basic formula, we have to cover it. I request to everyone, please mute your speaker. So now the right hand, another column is here. This is an idea I want to convey to you that please give test paper like this only, where left hand side only is written and they have to write right hand side by seeing the left hand side. In the same way, you can check their learning by giving right hand side only and let them write the left hand side. Like differentiation of sin x is cos x, but they have to learn that cos x is the differentiation of sin x. So sometimes you have to ask them what is the function whose derivative is cos x. By giving them right hand side, you can ask what is left hand side. Purpose I have given this one example before you. Don't ask formula altogether. Ma'am, please, I request to ma'am, whose speaker is on. We are getting disturbed, ma'am. Please make it mute. So, what I am telling to you, फार्मूलों को एक साथ लर्न कराने की बजाय हमें लेफ्ट हैंड साइड से राइट हैंड साइड और राइट हैंड साइड से लेफ्ट हैंड साइड लर्न करने या नोट करने की प्रैक्टिस करानी चाहिए, बिकॉज इंटीग्रेशन में हमें अपोजिट मैनर में ही डेरिवेटिव्स का एप्लीकेशन होता है. Then only they can understand the concept of integration or the formula of integration properly. Now, the next slide, the concept of composition, derivative of composition of function has been explained here. This is the topic where most of the children are committing the mistakes. Please understand what is it. There is two functions.
Sir, excuse me. Sir, yes, you can mute everybody, sir. You can mute everybody.
I have muted, ma'am.
Oh.
I have muted now. So, This is the concept of derivative of function of the function or composition of function. See the first function hx, that is sine 2x, which is the composition of two functions fx and gx. fx 2x है और gx में हमने sin x लिया हुआ है. नाउ पहले हमको ये बताना है बहुत क्लियरली कि जब भी कोई फंक्शन दो फंक्शन या दो से ज्यादा फंक्शन के कंपोजिशन से बना हुआ है, तो नीचे जो डायग्राम दिया है ट्राइसाइकिल जैसे, इसको देखिए. इसमें हमने पहले फंक्शन को एक्सप्लेन किया है कि fx ने x को क्या बनाया 2x, एंड 2x पर gx लगा तो बन गया sin 2x. तो अगर हम
Let's say you should not talk.
I think where is the option of muting of all? So we are talking about the derivative of function of the function, and here what I'm going to tell you, this first function is fx, which is making x to 2x, and another function gx is making 2x as sin 2x. तो पहले हमें ये एक्सप्लेन करना है कि जब भी डिफरेंशिएशन करेंगे हम, तो जो भी फंक्शन वहां पर इन्वॉल्व है, हर एक फंक्शन का डेरिवेटिव फाइनल फंक्शन के डेरिवेटिव को डिटरमाइन करने में अपना रोल प्ले करेगा. यानी hx का डेरिवेटिव या hx का रेट ऑफ चेंज fx और gx दोनों के प्रोडक्ट से बनेगा. दोनों के अपने अपने डेरिवेटिव यूज होंगे. यहाँ पे देखिए जो लास्ट स्लाइड h डैश x लिखा हुआ लास्ट स्टेप में, h डैश x इज dy by dx ऑफ 2x, यानी पहले फंक्शन fx का रेट ऑफ चेंज या डेरिवेटिव आएगा, बिकॉज दिस इज फर्स्ट फंक्शन ऑफ x. देन dy by d 2x, यानी x से 2x बनाने वाले फंक्शन का रेट, और फिर 2x से sin 2x जो फंक्शन बना रहा है gx, उसका डिफरेंशिएशन, उसका डेरिवेटिव भी यूज होगा, और दोनों के प्रोडक्ट से hx का डेरिवेटिव डिसाइड होगा. Instead of teaching them let it is t and then putting the value of t and like that, which is given in normal books, I request to please explain this concept in this way. They should understand what actually happening, why we are taking t and why we are producting them or multiplying their derivative, because their individual rate will play the role to determine rate of final function or derivative of final function. Similarly, in another side right hand column, I have explained the example where three functions are forming final function. First fx, sin x and then log x. और हमारा जो मेन फंक्शन है hx, वो तीनों की कंपोजिशन से बना हुआ है. तो जब hx का डेरिवेटिव निकलेगा, then firstly first function 2x, its derivative 2 will be there. Then second function sin 2x with respect to 2x. Don't write here with respect to x. Normally we write t when we suppose 2x is t. So this is another case. Another example is given to you in case of three function. I hope that is sufficient to understand how we have to teach differentiation of function of the function. Now in the next slide, we are talking about integration. Some more derivatives concepts are there, like parametric forms. One hint I just want to tell you, one tip for the parametric form. Sometimes it is written as x equal to sine theta and y equal to cos theta. You know that the formula for parametric form is dy by dx is dy by d theta upon dx by d theta. But children are sometimes writing dx upon d theta upon dy by d theta. So please tell them differentiate y first, then x, so that numerator will be with respect to y, dy by d theta, and denominator dx by d theta. यानी हमें पहले y को differentiate करना है, फिर x. This point has been left in the previous slide. Now come to the integration. As I told you, please explain the basic concept first. So definition is the process to find out function whose derivative is known. Simple एक line का definition, we have to explain what is integration. It is the method to find out the function whose derivative is given or derivative is known. Now, if f dash x is cos x, then finding fx will be called integration of cos x and denoted by the symbol integration of cos x dx equal to इस तरह से बिल्कुल शॉर्ट में हमको एक्सप्लेन करना है डेरिवेटिव क्या है, इंटीग्रेशन क्या है, इंटीग्रेशन को किस सिंबल से रिप्रेजेंट किया जाता है. And one example is given. We know that dy by dx of sin x is cos x. Therefore, dy by dx of. अभी यहाँ देखिए थर्ड पॉइंट में हमने दो अलग अलग फंक्शंस ले रखे हैं, एक sin x एंड अनदर sin x plus 1. दोनों के डिफरेंशिएशन cos x है. Then what will be the integration of cos x? Whether sin x or sin x plus 1. So that is a confusion over here, and to overcome this confusion, we represent or we use C, constant C. To represent all members of such family, we use constant C. Hence, integration of cos x dx is sin x plus C. C can be different for different members of this family. So, in the beginning, only these 2-3 concepts to be explained very clearly. Don't say simply integration is the process of antiderivative or just opposite of differentiation. It is, of course, antiderivative method, but again, there are certain basic things we have to explain in the beginning so that the concept will be clearly understood by the students. Now we are going to see the formula of integration. The first slot, I request to everyone, please teach the formula of integration by combining them in a different groups. Like first group, which is based on differentiation or the formula of differentiation. Like we know that derivative of sin x is cos x. Therefore, the derivative of cos x, integration of cos x is sin x. Similarly, derivative of cos x is minus sin x. So integration of sin x is minus cos x. But this should be explained properly. ये minus क्यों आया? क्योंकि जब हम cos x का डिफरेंशिएशन करते हैं तो माइनस sin x आता है. उस माइनस को हम यहाँ नहीं रख सकते. फार्मूला बनाना है तो माइनस को राइट हैंड साइड में ट्रांसफर करना पड़ेगा. सो ये पॉइंट बोर्ड पर प्रॉपरली एक्सप्लेन करना पड़ेगा, तभी बच्चों को समझ आएगा कि ये यहाँ पर माइनस क्यों आ रहा है. सिमिलरली sec square is the differentiation of 10x. That is why its integration is 10x. So this is first level where we have created the formula of integration based on differentiation. Don't teach all formula together. Sin x integration is this, cos x this, tan x this, cot x. This is creating confusion. Mixing all. Please segregate them on different level, different topic. Sub group wise, we have to combine them and teach them. So these you can see in the right hand column. This is the inverse derivative of inverse function. And then I have created the formula for integration. 1 upon root 1 minus x square may be sin inverse or maybe minus cos inverse x, because cos inverse differentiate minus 1 upon. So these are the another pair of formula based on inverse function. And in the basic, you must explain what is the integration of 1, that is x, because differentiation of x is 1. Similarly, for any constant m, integration will be mx. So these are the basic difference formula which is based on formula of differentiation. Now we should go for the next, that is based on substitution. Again, lot of part of integration is based on substitution, but again split it into different level. Thus, this is level 1, which is simply based on the formula. Sin x integration is minus cos x. But if it is not exactly x, if it's 2x, then it will be 2x by 2. So in case of function of the function, again here the function is composition of two functions, sin x, 2x and sin x. So we can teach them that these are certain basic where derivative is playing the role, differentiation is playing the role to get the integration. And no हेलो,
अच्छा ठीक है, ऊपर आके पैसे देना फिर, ठीक है, हाँ हाँ, ठीक।
एनी क्वेरी? सो नाउ व्हाट इज द न्यू इन दिस ग्रुप? ये सारे डिफरेंशिएशन एक ही स्टेप, इंटीग्रेशन के फार्मूले डिफरेंशिएशन से एक स्टेप आगे बनाए गए हैं। साइन एक्स का इंटीग्रेशन माइनस कॉस एक्स है, बट साइन 2x है तो 2 से डिवाइड हो जाएगा। जो x का कोफिशिएंट है उससे आपको डिवाइड करना है। क्यों करना है आपको एक्सप्लेन करना पड़ेगा। सब्स्टिट्यूट करके 2x को t सपोज करके dx को dt से रिप्लेस करेंगे। दैट एक्सप्लेनेशन इज देयर, बट for remembering them, you can say simply divide by multiplication or the coefficient of x. It can be multiplied by 2, it can be divided by any constant, like second case, like it can be a linear function of x, x plus 1, or ax plus 1, or 2x plus 1. So these are the certain level of substitution. Then we go for the next one is based on substitution level 2. यहाँ पर tan x और cot x के फार्मूले आते हैं। हमें बिगिनिंग में स्टार्टिंग में tan x और cot x के फार्मूले एक्सप्लेन नहीं करना है, हमें लेवल टू लेवल चलना है। अब यहाँ पर आप देखते हैं tan x को हम किस तरह से इंटीग्रेट करते हैं। पहले sin x अपॉन cos x में कन्वर्ट करेंगे, फिर cos x को t सपोज करेंगे, और फिर उसके बाद प्रॉपर सब्स्टिट्यूशन होगा, एंड देन इट विल बिकम माइनस log cos x। Because of the property of cos log, this minus goes to the power of cos x, and 1 upon cos x becomes sec x. Similarly, in the second formula, 1 upon sin x is positive. This is positive, but if you want to change it, sin x can be written as 1 upon cos x cosec x, and then 1 upon cosec x can be written as cosec x to the power minus 1. This minus 1 comes as a product. So these are the formula of tan x and cot x, which should not be taught in the beginning. Even they are coming in third slide. If you are teaching the formula of integration in this manner, children will understand the basic concept very clearly, and there will not be any mess up in the formula, any confusion over there. Level to level, topic to topic, we have to explain before them. In the next one, if you see cosec square ax plus 1, this is again linear function है, तो यहाँ पर डिवाइड करना है द कोफिशिएंट ऑफ x। इस तरह से इन फार्मूलों को लेवल टू लेवल हमें आगे लेके चलना है। Then we are going to next slide, that is, yeah, the special integration formulae are there. Again, there are total 9 formulae, but we have to group them in a similar manner. Like if you see the first column, first, second, and third row, these 3 formulas are based on without square root. Left hand side you can see these no root are there, by right hand side and in the below side you can see they are the with the square root. So पहले हमें ये बताना है कि ये 9 फार्मूले में किस तरह की सिमिलरिटीज हैं, so that कि हम इनको आसानी से लर्न कर सकते हैं। तो पहला पॉइंट आपको देखना है कि तीनों के